Let's read some Glitch in the Matrix stories, part 140. Camping alone, a demon trying to kill me, and vanishing gnomes. What? I wonder if these are 3 separate stories or if it's like one story that encompasses all of these crazy things. Let's see. Hi! I came across your stories on TikTok and wanted to share a story with you of a night I spent camping that made me question reality as a whole. I'm historically a very logical person. I literally work in big tech and the corporate world. So this night really made me feel crazy. Anyways, here's the story. Last summer, I was on a road trip by myself and I booked a campsite in Quebec, Canada. I'm not very good at French, and as I pulled up to the campground, I realized I accidentally booked a campsite at their version of Santa's Village. It was dark when I arrived, so I laughed about it and I tried to find the site that I reserved. I was having issues finding the site number markers, and instead I kept finding these little mini homes with gnomes in front of them, like homes the size of gingerbread and gnomes no bigger than a plastic water bottle. Eventually, I find my site, set up my tent in the dark, and go on a little walk around the area to see the lights. I also sent my friend a message about how funny the gnomes are. At midnight, I crawl into my tent alone and go to bed. I get up in the middle of the night at some point to go to the bathroom, go back to bed, and then around 4 a.m., I'm jolted awake because there is a black-eyed demon child wrestling me, sitting on my chest and choking me, trying to kill me. What? He had what I can only describe as dark black death eyes, looked like a demon child, and was 110% not human. I wrestle it and try to fight it off me. I start repeatedly saying, "What the fuck?" while I'm fighting. I'm able to push it off and I'm awoken into this reality by the sound of my own voice, and the demon melts away. I feel like I woke up a second time. My tent is identical to a few seconds ago. My body's in the same position, but the demon is gone. At this point, I'm thinking that it must have been a nightmare, but my chest is tight and I can feel pain on my neck where the demon was choking me. It also feels like someone has been sitting on top of my chest in the spot that the demon had been, and it's tight and sore. I felt like I had crossed into another universe. What? I go back to sleep. How did you go back to sleep? I go back to sleep and I wake up around 7:30, 8 o'clock a.m. I get up and begin to pack up my site. I decide to go on a walk first because I wanted to take pictures of the gnomes I had told my friends about the night before. The problem was, though, as I walked around the site, the little gnome houses were still there, but all the gnomes were gone. The night before, I had shined a light on some of them and remember there being cobwebs around some of the gnomes as if they had been there for a very long time. I was dumbfounded, walking around and seeing the houses with no gnomes all over the campground. The gnomes were there when I went to bed. I had told my friend about them. They had cobwebs on them, but after the demon came, the gnomes disappeared without a trace. You mean after the demon came and then you jumped into another universe or another timeline? That morning, I packed up my car and left the campground. The whole experience was incredibly odd. I kept thinking that maybe the gnomes were a game for the kids, but the timeline, the cobwebs, and the placement wouldn't make sense. The demon also felt so real. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had somehow crossed into an alternate universe for that one night, or the demon tried to pull me into one. I'm a logical person. I've never experienced anything like that. I also haven't told a lot of people about the story because it genuinely sounds ridiculous and make-believe. Now, though, as I look through more videos on TikTok about things like this, I feel so much less crazy. What do you think happened? First of all, I'm so glad that you're here because in our community here, we believe you because so many people have had weird fucking experiences. And I love that we're making people feel validated. I'm so happy that you feel better about it. I really just don't know. I mean, so the gnomes were there with cobwebs and then they weren't there. So that to me says either the gnomes were actually little gnomes and they got up and, or more likely, well, I don't know more likely, but in my brain more likely that you switched timeline and this demon was attacking you and then you woke up again. So is it possible that this thing got you and maybe you were unalived and then you switched into a different timeline where there are no gnomes? Are the gnomes and the demon connected? I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure this out, but that was a weird, awesome story. Thank you so much for sharing. What a crazy experience. Let us know what you think about this story in the comments.